Hello, Double Talk 73 here, your fishing friend. This is a video that I'm going to stream and then post on YouTube. One of my followers on Twitch requested some information on bass fishing in Florida, so that's what we're going to try. So what I'm going to be using, let me show you here. We'll use one float rig. I like a 6/0 hook and shiners, and anything that'll say 20-pound rig will do just fine. If you have a Brutus 910, which is 35-pound, they'll do fine too. I like to set my leader around 15 inches. You have to use a larger bobber because of the shiner, and then the 6/0 hook. And then for my casting, for the lures, I like to use a heavier rig. I don't want to take a chance. This is my X Series frog popper. You get that for fishing 30 consecutive, well, I do nights in Louisiana. And I have a video on how to do that so that it doesn't cost you as much. I believe it's $1,500 to extend from night to night. So it's going to cost you at least $45,000. Plus any little minor, plus travel. Don't buy a license when you're not going to be fishing. So you want everything off: hat, vest, boat, rod stand, everything. You want absolutely nothing when you come here. Everything here goes at home. All of your rods, everything goes to your home. So that when you get there, you have nothing that can be repaired, get any wear or tear on it. So that's the way to do that. And then you spawn in on day, go to night, and then use your wheel on your mouse. Just go from day to day to day to day, or night to night to night to night, I mean. And you don't have to use any coins. You'll wind up with a positive 7 bait coins after the 30 days. You get 3 at one time and 5 at another. And should you have to use one coin, so should you, I say, you shouldn't have to, but should you wind up with a positive of 7 bait coins, plus you get this X Series frog popper, and it's pretty good for bass down in Florida. Okay, so let me get this going here so I can see what's going on. Here we go, and let's travel to Florida. Yeah, I know. Even this good boat you can't use in Florida. This is going to be a little short stream, not too long. And this is where you want to spawn in. It's called Lily Pad Channel. And the reason for that is there's a channel that goes right back in here. It's lily pads. Okay. Now, you can fish in the morning or you can fish at night. The big bass come out at night, just like in real life. And I'll show you where I like to fish and the lures that I like to use. Yeah, let's go to a friends only room so we don't bother anybody. They wouldn't bother me, but I may bother them. Hey, Colin, how you doing, buddy? Well, I appreciate that. Hey, I like chemistry. Chemistry was one of my favorites in school, so enjoy, do good, which I know you will. Okay, let's walk out here. Okay, if I'm fishing with the lures, I like to fish this area right out here by these lily pads, or this corner, or this corner. Now, if I'm using that trophy frog popper, right in here is a good place for it. And for when I'm using shiners, I fish, see this upside down boat or truck hood or whatever it is, right in here, and right in here is where I like to use shiners. So let's start with a shiner and see what we can do. You never know. Kind of back in this hole here a little bit. Put my headphones on so I can hear the ding. Hopefully I get a ding. Like I say, I prefer fishing for bass at night. They're a little more active. Excuse me, I give me a little scratch in my throat. A little runny nose. Oh, I'm sorry. 20-inch leader. I remember now. 20-inch leader. Let's give that a try. Been a while since I fished with shiners down here in Florida, but we'll see what happens. Bait and hook in the water, you never know. Welcome, viewers. Got hung up. That minnow run in them lily pads, and I think I'll keep that. I don't remember getting sawgrass. There's a mission where you catch different shore weeds, and sawgrass is one of them, I'm pretty sure. Let's zoom in so we can keep an eye on that bobber and see what it's going to do. At least the minnow's not dead, swimming around. Or the shiner. Here we go. Let's catch a fish. Come on. Catch a fish. Catch a fish, catch a fish, catch a fish. Do. And I also like to fish only daytime or night peaks. Don't go back in there. Come back out. Come on back out. Come on. Come on. Thank you. When that bobber stops, that's usually when the fish strike, because they hit it, a bowfin. That's not a bass, is it? This is a level 18 waterway. That might be a log instead of an upside down boat. I don't know what it is. You can call it whatever you want. It's that brown thing laying in the water. And I have fished right out the end of it too. Just for a difference. The bobber's moving. When that bobber's moving, something's after it. And when it stops, that's usually when the fish hits. Stop. Bam. See what I mean? Yeah, that's a bass. I don't believe that's a bowfin. Here we go. A nice trophy. 7-4. Okay, that's one spot. Now let's try this other spot over here. Right in here. Right behind the lily pads. By the way, 7.4 is almost uni. So that's a pretty good start. If I yawn a lot, forgive me. Hey, Rock, good morning. Sorry I hadn't looked over. Was it you that asked me about Florida? I don't remember. I apologize. I don't remember. That was longer than 5 minutes ago. I hope it was, because now you're here with me. And like I say, it's easier to show somebody than it is to tell them. I just don't remember who asked me about Florida yesterday. That's one thing about Twitch. When you close it down, your chat's gone. You can't go back and rehash it. Maybe I should have read it down, reckon. The men are still moving. I see the bobber hiding back in there. So nothing after it yet. Now there's a gentleman, his game name is R Stat. Told me when you're fishing for float fishing for different species, if you want to keep on catching, when you catch one, change something. Leader depth, hook, bait, change something, and you should get a strike a little faster. That's a long time ago. That's for a lot of updates and whatever. So I don't know if that would still work or not. But anyhow, that's what he said. Can't see the bobber now. He's really back in there. I have to watch the side bobber. There we go. That's a little bass. But a bass. Okay. That's two spots there. And then I like this one. Right in here. As long as I don't get in them lily pads. Yeah, that's pretty close. See if we can catch another one here. Then I'll show you what I like to use as lures other than that X series frog. So that's, first of all, you have to be able to get to Louisiana as far as a level requirement. And then you have to have enough money in order to be able to do that. In essence, you're wasting with travel and everything about $60,000, $55,000 to $60,000. It's not wasting because you're going to get that lure. And when you use that lure, please use a heavy rig. I'm talking about 35-pound or more. And you come down here in Florida, and if you fish out in open water with it, hey, butterfly peacock, you might encounter one of the big Florida gars down here, and if you've got it on a 15 or 20-pound rig, that lure can be gone. And the only way to get it back is to place first, second, third in one of the competitions, which is difficult in its own. Hey, Joe, how's it going, buddy? Welcome, welcome. So I use a 40-pound or better because those Florida gar get up to 25, 27 pounds. And when they hit and run. And before you know it, your lure's gone and you can't get it back. You can't go to the developers. You can't go to support and say blah, 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 blah. It doesn't happen. So I highly recommend using bigger than you would normally need to fish for bass down here when you're using a lure that you do not want to lose. See, here we go. There's one of them. That's 16 pounds. And if you're using a 15 or 20 pound rig, and you happen to catch that with one of those lures, there's a good chance that that lure's gone because they fight. They fight strong and hard, and it'll be gone. So that's word to the wise, a warning to the wise. Better to overkill and keep your lure than to underkill, so that you can get a little more XP, a little more money, and lose your lure that you've done spent 55 or 60 grand for, that you cannot replace. Now the other lures I'm going to show you, except for the trophy frog popper, you can buy with coins or money. You can replace them. With those two lures, you can't replace. There again, that's a warning, a word to the wise. Okay, let's have a bass. Come on, let's have a big bass. Stopped. Bam. See, almost every time. Yep, I can believe it. I believe it. There's a nice bass. Another trophy. Oh, that's bigger than the other one. Okay, those are the four places that I like to fish for largemouth bass. And here is where I like to fish for peacock. We're still using shiners. I go down here at the end. And right along here, there's a tree over here. It's hard to see if I turn my light on. See that tree right there? From there to this corner. I got a marker there. I don't even know what the marker's for, but that's where I like to fish for peacock. And when you go down to that corner, there again, be careful because those Florida gar run through there. I cannot overemphasize a big rig. I have fished in Okeechobee down in Florida, and the guides down there, they use 30 and 40 pound rigs with 25, or if they use a 30-pound rig, they put a 25-pound leader on it. If they use a 40-pound rig, they put a 30-pound leader on it, because when they jerk bass out of that grass, they want them to come out. They don't want them going back down. They don't want them taking their, they want them out. And they use real heavy rods, so they can, stiff rods, so they can jerk them out. No give. And when you're using floats and shiners in real life, you don't have to worry about feeling the bass when it's hitting. The bobber's going to tell you that. When that bobber's gone, bass is on. You want to get it out of the water before it gets down in the hydrilla or the lily pads where it can tangle up the line. But anyhow, all along that, from that tree all the way down to the corner, good place for peacocks. Here's another one. Okay. Now let's go back over here. Now I always like to come out here and go to the left corner. I don't know if it's any better, any worse. That's just what I like to do. So now what we're going to use, we're going to start off with a lure that you can have, or you should have. We're going to use this one you can buy. It's a pink frog popper. You can buy this one. I don't really need a leader because I'm using braid line, or the fish down here, except for the gar, don't have teeth. It's got hard gums. But we're going to see what happens with this pink one. Now, there is a hole right in here that my oldest son caught. I think it was 16 or 18 casts in a row with that pink frog popper. He caught that many bass. Each cast, he caught a bass. Bam, right after 16 or 18 in a row. This one, we just throw it out there. One speed. Pop. And you saw where I cast. Remember I showed you that's where I like to cast the lures. This one works better at night. And also, here's something that I do. If I catch one here, then I move to the right to the tunnel or channel. Call it whatever you want. Now there are some people that like to use cranks here. I don't. It's hard to keep a crank from getting tangled up. I just like my top water. Excuse me. A little piece of oatmeal still left. Well, I tried something different this morning. I got some blueberry syrup that I put on waffles and pancakes, and I mixed me up some maple brown sugar oatmeal and cream of wheat. That's what I usually mix up and eat anyhow. And I put some blueberry syrup in it, and that was good. I really enjoyed that. It's something different. I need my sunglasses, don't I? Get rid of this glare. There we go. Now I feel cool. As far as I can tell, that's about the only thing I figured these sunglasses were. They're expensive, but they come in that 175 Baitcoin Tropical Hunter pack or whatever it was called when they first issued this. Okay, let's try the trophy frog popper. Where is it at? There it is. I watched a guy here one day fishing with it right over here in this area, and he was pulling bass out there, just trophy after trophy, and a couple of unis, just one right after another. He was doing really good. I don't know what the weather was, don't know what time it was, but he was doing real good with it. Well, he sure did. He was pulling them out. Now here I am during a kind of a morning peak, but I like my X series. That's my favorite. And when I'm down here, if I'm not getting real good bites on the bass of a night, we'll say, I like to go over on the backside of Salty Delta and catch snook and red drum. They get big. Need a big rig for them. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. And I've seen a lot of guys that I don't know where they get this idea from. They do this. Put the real rods off to the side and jerk it. I've always been taught by bass fishermen that you bring the lure straight towards you. You have better feel. Log back there. You talking about this one? I don't know if that's a log or what. I can't see a log back there. See, that's my eyeballs. We'll give that a try. I don't know if it'll come across those pads. We'll see. Don't need my headphones on now, do I? Maybe I'm not holding my my eyes right across my toes right. But there again, I just cannot overemphasize as big a casting rig as you can use. As long as you can cast it 70 or 80 feet, you should be okay. 80 feet, 90 feet, something like that. So let's try this side. So that's just about maximum I can cast this. It's fairly light lure. Ooh, that's 158 feet. That's a long cast. Because I know that when I put it on there, it say that the weight is not optical. The cast will be short. 158 feet is not short. On the left, Joe's trying to tell me where to cast. He says a bush sticking out. There again, you got to realize my eyeballs. Oh, I see a bush sticking out. Good ways back in there. We'll see. At least I'm at a morning. Should be getting to the morning peak now. Yeah, 6:30. Okay. I'm trying, Joe. What part? Are you really from the South, Joe? What South are you from? I'm in Tennessee. One a C, two a three, C is three a C, four a C, five a C, six a C, seven C, eight a C, nine a C, Tennessee. Okay. Not North Carolina though. Because you can't be Joe South from North Carolina. Let's try it over here again. Not having a lot of luck right now with this trophy popper. Or the pink one. So I'm going to put my, come on, come on. Ah, missed it. Let's see how I am with the peak. I don't know, getting right close to the top of it. Should be getting some action. Should be getting some action. Now there's some guys that like to use bass spinner baits. I've never had a whole lot of luck with them. When you come, there we go. Come on, come on. Here we go. When you come down here, bring some with you. Give it a try. Bring you some grub. Bowfin. Bring you some grubs and shad, and see if you can use the bass spinner baits. You never know. Something might work for you that doesn't work for me, and vice versa. Something that works for me might not work for you. That's the game's ones and zeros. An infinite, almost an infinite number of combination of ones and zeros. You can pop it at 2 feet, you can pop it at 3 feet, 4 feet. Each one of those is a variation of the same thing. Part of those ones and zeros. And there again, if you catch, okay, I just use braid on everything. Now, there is a long time ago. I'm talking about, so I've been playing this December. I mean, this first week in November, I've been playing this game for 3 years. And I was told somewhere by somebody way back when that there is a biting hierarchy with regard to line. You get more bites with mono, you get less bites with fluoro, and then less bites again with braid. But when I do most of my fishing where the big catfish and the bigger fish are, I like to use braid. It doesn't stretch as much. That's just my preference. There again, what works for you can work for somebody else, or maybe not. Just don't lose these lures that you cannot replace. So let's try my Frog Popper, my X series. This is my favorite. Now this really works well in Louisiana too. Down when you go to the pecan hut, turn to the right, go out to the end, and fish down that channel to the right. Works for largemouth and for spotted bass. There, when I fish for bass there, I don't even try to fish any time during the day. I just fish at night. But once you get a lure, each fish that you catch with that lure reduces that cost of that lure to you. So that eventually you can use that lure and you have essentially nothing or pennies invested in it. And every bass that you catch, and chains, yep, you have nothing invested in what you use to catch it with. I'm going to cast one more time, then I'm going tonight. I like fishing nights in Florida. Not only that, but once you're there, you can go from night to night to night. You have to use one coin to begin with. And then, well, let's try this over here. Let's see if I can find that hole. There it is right there. He was using the pink popper when he did it, my oldest son. He caught either 16 or 18 in a row right in there. Don't know the time of day or whatever, but he had his own way of working poppers too. He would do a pop, pop, pull, pop, pop, pull. That's just the way he worked it. Developed his own little system. Worked for him. I tried it, didn't work for me. I wonder if we catch one of those big old gar. They play around right out in the middle. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. I'll try that next. Joe says to the right over the small lily pad. Hello, Heinrich. Good morning. Or good evening to you, I mean. Good afternoon. You must not be having to work today. Or you've already got your work done. Oh, I said the four-letter word, and I apologize. Still morning? Okay. Oops. There's peacocks over there. Okay, after this, I'm going to night. Oh, 1 more hour? I thought it was more so. Okay. Okay, let's go to night. Let's see what we want to do at night. Oh, man. Those are terrible nights. 2 o'clock in the morning. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Do 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 do. We could do evening. Let's do an evening. Just see what happens. Ooh, my sunglasses. Make everything look orange. I thought there was a lot more difference in the time, Heinrich. I thought it was like 6 hours. 1 hour is not bad. Well, except for the shiners, I'm not really showing y'all very much right now, am I? Okay, that's interesting. I thought you were, Heinrich. My bad. Oh, South America. Okay. I don't know what in the world had me thinking that you were in Europe. But anyhow, I'm glad you're here. Let's try Walker. It's Walker right here. Do 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 do. It ain't huge, but I believe it's a bass. That's better than what I have been catching, isn't it? It is a peacock. We'll take a peacock. Now, caught one there. Now go over here. I don't have an X series bass jig, I don't think. I didn't bring one with me. Oops, there was a good hit. That was a real good hit. Here we go. Another trophy, maybe? Yep. Then I go back over here. Catch one in one spot, then move. The Walker right now is working better than the... Oops. Oh, got me some lily pads. Water lily, I don't need that. Just remember, PPPP. Patience, persistence, practice will produce. Just find out, like we just did, there's some things that were working, some things that were not working. Just try something else. Just bring whatever you think you might want to fish with before you get here, so you do not have to go back to the home map and spend your travel money again. I like to fish that channel at night too. Well, the peacocks are liking the walker. In that channel is where I got my 2 13-pounders. So I remember that. Now, one thing's for sure, you will not get rich in Florida, but you can have fun. If you're level 18, you can get down here with the lures that you need. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Gave up on me. You can have fun. Don't get frustrated. Just keep trying until you find something that works for you. And I wish your tackle box held more, or backpack, I guess. But you could bring more lures and try more different techniques and see if they work. You never know unless you try. A nice one. But see, the popper wasn't working. That's usually my most productive. So, yes, the red drum do. Ah, cast it through too deep. And for their size, so do the gaff topsail. Now, the hardest, if you look in the species list on here, the hardest fish for me to catch down here was a trophy Oscar. Man, I fished and fished and fished before I caught that dude. I know where they were because I was catching Oscar after Oscar. And then somebody said, "You're not holding your tongue right." Okay. It took me 3 real life days fishing pretty regularly for it before I finally caught one. And then somebody said, "Try over here." Well, I finally had caught one. So then, you know how it goes. I said, okay. So I went over there, and the second fish I caught was a trophy Oscar. But if I hadn't caught one, it wasn't going to happen, was it? Well, I tell you, they're difficult. They really are. I use bloodworms and #1 hook and fish. I'll show you where I fish for them when I get this in. There's 2 places. The place that I fished for a long time before I finally caught one. Okay. That shouldn't be a long travel. It's the game, I guess. I use #1 hook, bloodworms. See my marker there? That's where I caught it. And I use a 15-inch leader. And it moves around right in here. That's the warmouth marker, but that's where I caught that Oscar. Then the other place, I didn't put a marker there, but it's right along here. Right along here. Like I said, the guy said, "Well, try it there." And I did, and the second fish I caught was a trophy Oscar. Which that figures, doesn't it? You try, sometimes you try too hard, or I do. But I still have fun. And when I go after a fish, I'm not going to give up. I'm either going to catch the fish or run out of time, go to bed, get up the next day, and try again. You're welcome. Like I said, even knowing where they were. Now, I caught a lot of common Oscars, but even knowing where they were, I still took a long time to catch. I caught brown bullheads, brim, white crappie, just a little bit of everything. A common warmouth, a little bit of everything. And I finally caught it. It's one of those aha moments. But it's also like in Bolivia, I was trying to catch a payara to finish that uh, mission. And I caught every one of them at that Selva spot. There's a nice one. And then I got down where all I needed was that payara. And I fished and fished and fished. Finally, I just said, I'm going to stop this stream because I'm not getting anywhere. But I'll keep on fishing. I'll see if I can catch it. So I stopped the stream. Well, thank you. So I stopped the stream. I need another one to clean them up, and I have a pair. And put on a walker. And the second fish I caught was a uni payara. But I put it in the description on the video. But that's not the same thing as seeing it get caught. We're fixing to go tonight, though. Oops. Missed that one, didn't I? That's like fishing for bull trout in Alaska. They and the Dolly Varden, when you fish over there at Middle Earth, they grab that lure and run with it. And I have yet to figure out how to turn that into a catch. I've tried everything. Evidently, I haven't tried everything because I haven't turned them into catch. But I've let them run with it. I try to set it as soon as they grab it. I've tried a little bit of everything. And I finished like 12th in that topwater rodeo up there once. And I know I missed 7 or 8 fish that would have easily put me in the top 10. But I'll figure it out sooner or later. Okay, let's go to 2 o'clock in the morning. Let's put my X series popper back on there. There you go. Now here's something else. I normally don't have a leader on when I fish here, so I don't know if that's changing things or not. Do I want to go to 2 or 3? Let's go to 3. Get it good and dark. Hello, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Yeah. My big old tail wagging dog. Yeah. Yeah. Oops. Catch one and move. Catch one and move. My wife came in and told me she's going to go walking. We'll try a couple more casts with this, and I'll try the walker again, and then I'll put an end to it. I hate to keep using y'all's time that you could be watching somebody else, but I told somebody that I would make this video, so here we are. And I'm only as good as my word. Let's try. Let's get rid of that. That may be affecting the, who knows? Because usually I just fish with a leader somewhere where I've got fish with teeth, like Maku Maku, Bolivia, blue crab. Yes, I know. Yes, she went walking, didn't she? Yeah. He's just a attention monger. Now, yesterday when my wife went walking, it was too cold for me. It was 50 degrees. It was 48 out there a while ago. I don't know what it is right now. She said she's going to let it warm up a little bit. But he's a sled dog type puller. I mean, buddy, he pulls when he wants to go somewhere. I'm 300 pounds, over 300 pounds. There we go. That's the one we was looking for. I do believe. There it is. Okay. Now I can end this video with this string on a successful note. That's why I like to fish at night here. So when you come, I'll reiterate, bring the largest casting rig that you can. If you use a smaller float rig, if you lose a hook and a bait, you haven't lost much. But if you lose a lure, you've lost something. There's none of them cheap. And the ones that you get as prizes, the X Series, they're not cheap by any means. So use the largest rig that you can. And just come and whatever, bring as many varieties of things that will catch bass as you can. And give them a try. What works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me. So that's about it. So I'll end this, and I'll be back. I'm going to go walk with my wife if I can catch her. And I'll be back on later. Good Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise. So remember, we will get through this together by the grace of God. Thanks again for spending your time with me. God bless you and your family. Hope you catch a bunch of fish. If you come to Florida, I hope you catch a bunch of big fish, big bass anyhow. So that's about it for me. So I guess I'll catch y'all later. So remember the PPPP, practice, patience, persistence will produce. Learn a little bit and pass it on. That's the fisherman's way. So I guess I'll catch y'all later. So y'all come back now, you hear? And thank you for your help, Joe. Good morning, Z. I'm fixing to sign off, and I'll be back later. Got to go walk with my honey. Thank y'all for coming.